I'm just going to put Bailey up into the drunk instance.
Join the space.
Oh no. How's everyone doing? Great to see you. I'm glad I made it in. I was actually having some technical difficulties. You can't see me? How about now? Can you see me now?
I can see you now.
Great. Yeah, great to see you. Great to be back. I'm well rested. We had loads of sun, sea, sand, and all of that kind of carry on. Unbelievable mojitos on the beach. All of that nonsense. But anyway, we're back. And yeah, we've got some great things in store. But yeah, this is Banter-Ama. This is our weekly AMA, Ask Me Anything, basically, where I come up here and just waffle. And sometimes people come up and ask questions, and they're sometimes about banter, which is fun. But yeah, basically how it works for anybody who's unfamiliar, which is probably not that many of you, but if you've got a question, feel free to make your way down the beach. I'll see if I can like line up my hand. Oh, it's covering the entire beach. My entire hand. Wow, look at that. The camera's like just here somewhere. There we go. I just wipe us out. Yeah. Anyway, that's the gist of it. You know, you come up onto the beach, you stand on my hand, and then I'll answer a question. And until you do that, I'll just continue to waffle on like this. Do you know, I should actually say apologies. I should have said this at the start. I won't be able to stay for the full event today. I'm only going to be able to do 30 minutes, unfortunately. So
Zach
make
has joined the
it
space.
worth it. Ask me anything you want to know. Where is this hat from? Why do I wear it? It's the middle of summer. I live in Spain. Why have I got a hat like this? What does my t-shirt say? And do I own the same t-shirt in real life?
Yes.
Yes, I do. I'll answer that one for you. Oh, Trey's there. Hey, Trey.
Hey, I got a question.
Hit me.
Okay,
You've got
I
an
know
aircon
you've
as well.
heard. Yeah, you heard of the question on the. I think Echo posted it here, but he wasn't. We found out like some when you can't see the screen sometime in the headset, we can't see the screen, but then we have to double tap that button on the side. That's the kind of like right now the fix.
Yeah.
I guess temporary fix. To you know what's causing that?
Not entirely. I have a couple of theories, but honestly, it's not something that's a huge priority for us.
Okay.
Yeah, we've obviously had this streaming solution that we've been using for quite a while. Something's gone wrong with it, but unfortunately, we've got too many other things right now that are a priority, so we don't even have time really to fully investigate it, let alone try and get that fixed. But thankfully, there are loads of ways to stream, right? You can stream on YouTube, on Twitch. As far as I know, all of those still work just fine, right? And until we can find some time basically to work on that. Yeah, I definitely recommend that you use one of those alternative ones instead.
Okay, and also I noticed in the Discord, like, well, I noticed in general, but when like I spawn into a space, even though I got the spawn point set, I still spawn somewhere like my previous, where I was in the previous space, like when
That's right.
Spawning into the location. Why
Yes, that's by design actually.
It's design.
Yes.
So even though I got the spawn point set on the A-frame, I'm still not spawning like in that spot.
I think the recommended way to handle that right now is to move the player once they load into the space. I'm sure somebody can point you towards the code for that in the Discord, right? But that's basically the recommended way to handle that right now. But yeah, currently it's a feature, right? That if somebody disconnects, when they reconnect, it will bring them back to the same place that they were just at. That's intended to work that way. It's actually been like that for quite a while now, probably.
There's a way to fix it.
4 months.
If you add an extra code into your codex for the glitch, there's actually an extra code type in the same location that you want to spawn at, and they will spawn there. I had oh gosh, what's his name on here? The guy that was of the
That
month
is
last
some
month.
serious aircon
Oh
there.
my gosh,
Rubber,
what's his
rubber,
name?
rubber, rubber.
Yeah,
Who wants to bet a fiver that Trey's coming out of the mic that
he
he
helped
doesn't
me.
think he's coming out
HBR.
of?
Yeah, HBR. Yeah, there you go. The echo stopped. Yeah, HBR helped me figure out how to do what he's talking about, and he just added an extra code into my glitch project, so it can be done. That's what I was saying.
Can you
Sorry.
send me the... Can I look at your glitch then?
I think you're coming out of the wrong mic, Trey.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think you're coming out the wrong mic.
I think you might be
Okay.
coming out of the wrong mic. I think I think you're coming out of the mic that's
Okay.
near the aircon.
Hello?
Yeah, but in a nutshell, you know, I guess to answer your question, yeah, there is a snippet of code that somebody like Hubber can share with you on the Discord. And yeah, it just allows you to set the spawn point in a different way, a way that will always set the spawn point. Basically, it just moves the player, right? Moving the player is a thing that you could do at any time, right? Not just when they first load into the space, but what this does is it moves the player when they first load into the space, and that effectively overrides any previous spawn point that they've stored, or yeah, even the default spawn point. It will obviously just move them straight away to whatever that new point is. But I think, yeah, I don't know. I think there's a possibility we might try to improve that in future. Like maybe you can use another thing to disable that spawn point, like memory feature for your space, right? So that you could have a more sensible spawn point. Oh, look at that big pile of books. But yeah, yeah, I'd say in the meantime, yeah, grab that code from Hubber and that'll sort it out for you, Trey. No problem. Yeah, so that's first question
Mock
down.
Muse has joined the space.
Loads more to go.
Ross
I
has joined
can't
the
actually
space.
see people over
Space.
here. I'm just gonna pop the old
Hey guys.
terrain
I was
darkness
looking for you guys and could not
down
find
a
any
little
of
bit.
you. You just like loaded
Hi,
in.
Moth.
Hey.
There we go. Now I can see people
Hi,
a
Shane.
little bit better. Hi Bailey, how you doing?
Good.
You
how are
sound a
you?
little bit more compass mentis than you did a few minutes ago. A few minutes ago, you
Yeah.
sounded positively wankered.
Oh, I am.
Ah, I see.
I'm just used to it.
I see. Gotcha.
It's a Friday. You know, you gotta celebrate.
Friday. I'm with you. I'm with you. I was in the pool not too long ago myself with a beer, so I'm right there with you.
Oh,
But
I don't blame you,
I can hear
though.
you.
Yes, please.
Okay.
okay, Bailey, I'm gonna assume you've got a question because you're kind of edging
Yes.
towards. Go ahead. What can I do you for?
I think you had the same thing happen.
What are we expecting in the next update?
In the
That's a
next
loaded question.
update, I would say the next update will probably contain some of the final parts of the SDK work we've been doing, notably visual scripting, right? So that's probably going to be the next biggest thing.
Starlight has
And in a
joined the
couple of days,
space.
hopefully, we'll be sharing the SDK privately with some world creators to see what they can make of it, whilst we desperately continue to try and fix any final bugs with it too. But yeah, that's what the next big update is going to be about. Is probably the SDK. After that, there's another big update
Dan
coming
Gleeble
with a
says
whole
Tony
new
Boss has
menu,
joined the
a
space.
brand new onboarding space. We're working on some cool stuff there.
Zephi has joined the
So
space.
that's going to be the next biggest update after that.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Do you see this nice chair here? Look behind you.
Hey, Divine, how you doing?
Our fish
Doing
overlord
great.
has joined
How
the
was your
space.
vacation? And that is my question.
It was great. Honestly, it was great. It's been a long time since I've taken some time off, and yeah, I think I managed to disconnect. In fact, I think I adopted a new rule after this vacation that from now on, I'm not going to start work until 11, right? I usually would start at like 7 a.m. and work until 2 a.m. or something stupid. But from now on, I'm gonna make sure that I take my mornings, have a little Sandy Miguel, as me and Bob call it, in the pool in the morning. Very Spanish. This is a very Spanish thing. They get up at 7 a.m. and have a beer, and then they go to work, and then they stop for breakfast and have another 2 or 3 beers, and then they just continue that throughout the day. And then in the middle of the day, they like take 4 hours off and have 2 liters of beer, and then sleep for 2 hours, and then go back to work for another 3 or 4 hours.
Hang on, I gotta take a picture.
It's an amazing life.
Is it fucking true?
But yeah, thank you for
They were-
that, Divine. Cyrus, good to see you.
Hello. Yeah,
can I
I'm
do
guessing
for
some people need you to re-megaphone
Oh,
because
did
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
they? How's that?
And
I can't hear very well.
Is that better?
can you hear him now, Moth?
It still sounds like everyone except him is megaphoned, if that makes sense. Like you're the only person I
Interesting.
cannot hear very well.
I would try shutting Banter down and reopening.
I might just
Interesting.
reload in, that might fix it.
Maybe I'm
If
bored.
it helps, she was in
yeah.
another instance and I brought her over here. She was sitting in number 1 and I brought her here. So if that helps with the bug report, just to be aware.
Sure. Yeah, there's a
Alright.
button actually in your menu, Moth, in the settings menu to upload your logs. If you wanted to slam that like you would slam a like or subscribe button, would really appreciate that, and we can try and look into that for you. Could be my end
Yeah.
as well, though, so I'll do the same because I was having technical difficulties getting in here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was having
So
a lot of
my
issues
logs
when I
uploaded
first
too.
loaded in.
Gotcha.
I'll reference her log
was, like,
and
haunting
put in the
everyone.
information for you, Shane.
Oh no. Well, actually, that might actually be a feature, right? Once the room gets to a certain capacity, it then spills over into another instance of the room. That could have been where you were initially, and then I think Faye brought you in here into this instance with the rest of us. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Faye.
But,
wherever you are.
sorry, Cyrus.
You're welcome.
What do you
Yeah.
got for
So,
us?
I know we've talked about this multiple times, but
Oh my.
I'm just
God,
curious how the
join my
new
space.
avatars are gonna
Ghost
look.
Droid has joined the space.
Like if there's any prototypes or anything happening yet.
He just wants to know if the jiggle physics.
That's a great question. We've kind of got 2 different strands evolving right at the minute related to the character, right? I'll use that as a broader term rather than necessarily avatar, because there's a few different parts to it. One of the big parts that we're working on right now is a complete rebuild from scratch of the entire physics-based character controller, the thing that lets you jump and climb and crouch, clamber, and all of that kind of stuff. That, I would say, in about 4 weeks or so, we'll probably have the first of many ongoing events where we hope to show you exactly what we're doing with that. The aim is to get to a point where we can actually have some functional things in game that you can use, although the first event might be more of a screen share or looking at some videos of things we've been working on. But as that evolves, we'll bring that in game. You'll be able to play with it, puppet it, maybe even change into that new character controller in order to test it out, be able to compare side by side with what we've got at the minute, right? As part of this kind of ongoing feedback loop that we want to be able to have in order to build that out, right? And yeah, honestly, it's already looking really great. It's already got a bunch of problems solved that we've had for a while with what we're working on, and yeah, we're continuing to kind of crunch on that, and yeah, pretty excited about that. The other side of that question really is about more the aesthetics, right? How our avatars look. And how they feel. I keep hearing, is it Bailey saying jiggle physics over and over? No? Is that who said that?
That's me, Bailey.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of different ideas when it comes to how the new avatar systems are going to work, right? And yeah, I'm not too sure right now if what form something like physics bones could take, just to play on Bailey's point there. But I think for all
I'm
intents
not worried
and
about
purposes,
jiggle. I'm not worried about jiggle physics.
gotcha. Well, yeah, you can pretty much expect that they will, for the most part, at least, look, as good as what we've got right now in terms of customization, right? To be able to do whatever you want. But there'll most likely be extra stuff on top of that. For instance, we'll likely have uh, possibly a selection of shaders that you'll be able to use on different parts of your avatar, depending. So you might be able to have things like shiny parts or transparent parts for things like glasses, whatever it is, So aesthetically, the avatars might end up looking quite a bit better than they do at the minute. I think we want to aim for a nice, decent set of shaders there, right? We won't support custom shaders on avatars. That's a big no-no, but we will have a nice set of shaders, including like a toon shader and,
Yungiverse
a
has
set of
joined the
PBR
space.
shaders, probably some basic standard shaders as well, and hopefully have a lot of those be as optimized as possible. We've talked a lot about things called blend shapes, which are, how my mouth moves up and down and my little hat things flap whenever I'm talking. We're going to expand on those greatly. Right now, there's only 3 of those, one for when you speak and for your eyes when they blink. But in the future, we're hoping to have a full set of visemes to give much better lip sync and lip movement when you talk. Plus, we plan to extend out to have a whole custom set of blend shapes that people will be able to create on their avatars and be able to trigger, right? So these will work kind of like expressions. That's in essence really what blend shapes are for, is adding expression to your avatar. So yeah.
Another thing to add on to that, for like people who wear the pro headset with like the face tracking, would that ever be implemented into our system?
That's a great question. So what we also want to do with blend shapes and expression is to be able to trigger those or even control those using external sensors. And what that means is you could make something that moves on your avatar and have some kind of an external sensor that's able to control that. In a nutshell, yeah, that opens up lip tracking,
All right.
tongue tracking, eye tracking, foot tracking, toe tracking, finger tracking maybe could be done that way, although we probably do that in a more native fashion, and all sorts of other types of tracking that I won't get into. Jiggly
All right.
tracking.
Well, that's all I had to add.
Yeah. Thank you, Cyrus. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Quantum Fox, I'm going to assume that your proximity to the beach there means you've got a question. If not, then I'd love to know, what do you treasure?
Yeah, I actually did have a quick question. So
Tripid has joined
I was
the
wondering
space.
if there was anything in the works, any plans for adding any work collaboration tools or rooms built for working virtually. I'm a software analyst, and one of the areas I track is enterprise VR. I'm kind of following that market, and it's obviously like very immature right now. So I'm just kind of curious as to if on this app, if there's anything planned.
Gotcha. I would be interested to know what kind of features, what sort of feature set, you would categorize, let's say, when it comes to enterprise. We do have certain features, like generic screen sharing to be able to present in general, a browser that's somewhat synchronized that you can utilize, whiteboard technology in some of the rooms that we've got as well. So we've got some things already right now today, but yeah, I mean, beyond that, there's obviously quite a few different other things that you could add support for. And I'd be interested to know, I guess, what is it that people are interested in? I think when it comes to these sorts of use cases with Banter, whilst it's not our primary focus and our primary goal, there's a good possibility that with the tools that we're building, that there might be some overlap there. But yeah, if you have any thoughts right now or even after this, if you're on our Discord, feel free to dump them into the ideas section. I'd love to hear them.
I didn't have anything specific. I just wasn't sure if there was a particular focus. Some companies are kind of interested in different levels of VR and AR use. One of those could be kind of like virtual meetings and how that might play into other platforms, things like that. I was just kind of curious as to if there was anything already in the works. But one kind of general idea that you could look at, I would say, is could there be certain rooms that let's say a company could actually pay a subscription access for that would have premium features for like having a meeting in there, like virtually to meet in VR with like special tools in order for them to project that might be slightly different than the rest of Banter. Could be something to mull over perhaps to see if that might be an opportunity.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I understand. So like basically a tiered access or paid access to spaces and content and tools, I guess, within Banter.
Yeah. Just like specific to companies, that might want that level of access and be willing to pay for it because they might have, like a whole team of folks that might want to use such a platform.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting one, and we have already been having discussions with some people around these sorts of things. I think for us, there's some core fundamental things that we really need to focus on and get right first with Banter before we start to kind of try and branch out and build out, because payment facilities and all of that rigmarole involves quite a lot of work and effort, and we want to make sure that we've got a stable base to build on before we really jump into trying to do that. But we've already had some thoughts. Integrating with platforms like, crowdfunding platforms like Patreon and others, so that people could be able to get that kind of tiered access. Even Discord as well, right? Discord has kind of got this this crowdfunding sort of gig going on there as well now. So the likelihood is that we could initially try to lean on something like that and be able to integrate with something like that, right? So that you could have spaces that are linked to your Discord server and that membership is kind of tied in there. In the future though, there's every possibility we might try and build out some kind of platform level payment infrastructure that allows people to, process transactions or take subscriptions or something like that. But the truth is, for us at least, it's definitely more of a priority right now, and probably for the next little while, to just try and build cool things rather than focus our resources and energy on payment services and how we can extract as much revenue out of people as possible. It's more right now just about trying to have fun with it and build some cool stuff and see who can kind of get interested. But that sort of stuff is definitely something that we want to explore. Like I said, we've been having discussions like this with some other people as well, and kind of brainstorming some ideas. And I mean, honestly, I'm generally open to people being able to sort of use Banter to try and experiment with things. And because we have a built-in integrated browser built into Banter, that actually opens up a huge world of possibilities when it comes to leveraging existing payment flows and workflows that have existed and have been battle tested on the web, right? So so all of that is there and all of that exists today, and there's channels of communication that we've set up between, your space can communicate with a browser that's positioned within your space, and you can send messages back and forth, and you can also communicate between your space and the browser that's inside the user's menu, right? So that's actually quite powerful. If you were to create your own flows, you would be able to then send messages in a similar way as you might do if you were communicating between iframes, between web pages on the open web. So there's a huge number of things that you can tap into, and I'm just hoping that nobody creates a space that's secretly crypto mining in the browser.
Well,
probably
I would
possible.
say that I would say, Shane, that one other opportunity that I've noticed as an analyst is that the on the enterprise level for buying into VR, companies don't like the cost of the hardware. That's the biggest thing, the biggest pain point. So my thought on that is if they can bundle certain software, like paid software, alongside that they might need, that could potentially allow them to negotiate down the cost of the actual hardware depending on how much software they're getting. So if like a paid version of Banter, some kind of collaboration tool might come with some kind of package like that they could get through Meta, that would be a great way for them to save money on the hardware and then make it more likely for them to have more employees in VR. So just an idea. Just wanted to put that by you and kind of see what was in the works there. But very interesting. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you. As I said, feel free to brain dump any more ideas you've got in the Discord.
Alrighty.
Ravioli, how are you doing? How's your rosy cheeks?
Hello.
What do you got for us?
They're very puffy. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Okay, you kind of touched on it a second ago about the facial tracking, Viziums, and all that stuff. Now,
Yes.
are you guys going to kind of future-proof that where, like, I think, like, Apple Vision 2 is going ARKit and, like, or, like, like VR chat uses OSC, VRCF stuff. Are you guys going to do
Yes.
your own thing, or are you going to support kind of universally known methods of face tracking?
I would say what we've talked about mostly internally is OSC, because
Okay.
it seems like VR chat is probably kind of setting the trend there, and they've got
Yeah.
the most active community using that sort of stuff. So we'd love to be able to try and tap into that if we can. So yeah, OSC is definitely squarely on the horizon for us.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I've just got a couple minutes left, unfortunately, guys, and I have to drop off here a little bit early. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'll go ahead. Pablo's Corner. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm doing good. So I primarily develop on VRChat, but I've been curious about Banter, and I've been, like experimenting with like world building in Unity, and like as like someone who develops on there, like I'm used to kind of like using Udon Sharp to like script stuff. Does Banter have any maybe considerations on like having something kind of like Udon Sharp where I could just just open up Visual Studio Code and just start scripting stuff and getting stuff working, something like that?
Yeah. In a nutshell, absolutely. We don't have Udon, unfortunately, right? That's a proprietary technology that VR chat.
Oh yeah, of course.
Not available to others, unfortunately. But we do have our own scripting language. Well, we call it Bullscript, but the truth is it's just JavaScript, which is really great because it's not a whole new language. It's something that's existed for quite a while, has a massive community around it. I think if you're familiar with Unity in general, right, in terms of working with mono behaviors and components and all that kind of stuff, you'll probably find what we've built with JavaScript quite familiar, because it's very similar to the Unity API. So JavaScript is probably one of the, if not the primary scripting method that we'll have here in Banter. But we're actually also working on another system, once again, an existing paradigm, not one that we've reinvented the wheel with, let's say, but Unity's visual scripting system is something that we'll also be making available for people, right? So between JavaScript and Unity's visual scripting, we're talking about professional grade tools here, really, that you can do quite a lot with, right? And together with JavaScript, because we have an integrated browser here in Banter, and that kind of serves as the core of everything that we're doing, you've got all of the features of that web stack available at your disposal as well, right? So things like making web requests, connecting to WebSockets, doing all of this kind of crazy mad stuff that VR chat would never ever like you to do, is extremely easy here in Banter. And you can create, linked spaces, do all sorts of mad things, and use the browser as a display surface as well, so that you can, stream video, do screen sharing, have interactive games, right? We do a lot of Jackbox TV in here, which is quite fun. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't actually I haven't looked at the latest of what's going on in VR chat in detail, and I'm not sure if they have anything kind of like that yet, like a browser. I know you can do YouTube via their built-in YouTube DLP in the video players and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's still pretty locked down in terms of what you can
Yeah.
do with Udon. Actually, it's funny. I don't know if you saw this. I'm sure you did. The complete breakdown that happened recently with the core developer of Udon Sharp, right? Just
Oh
after
yeah,
this
yeah.
Udon Sharp 2, everything seemed to go to shit, and they fired the main guy who built it all for them, and now it's all nobody knows what's going to happen a little bit. But yeah, yeah. I mean, what's great about what we're doing is that instead of reinventing the wheel, that then a community member has to kind of come in and fix for you by creating a compiler that can compile from C# to our proprietary language. It's all just going to be JavaScript, right? And it's all just real-time web stuff. We're working on a plugin that will be available very soon for Unity that will allow you to run everything inside the Unity editor, right? So when you're building your world, you'll just be able to hit play. It will fire up a headless browser behind the scenes and will execute all of your world scripts there and then in the Unity editor. So you'll have all the Unity tools as well, the profiler, the hierarchy, all that kind of stuff, right? And yeah, I think what's great about what we're working on is fundamentally it just boils down to we've got this suite of components you can use in Unity. And you can just add those like scripts onto your objects in your scene, or you can instantiate them and create them and do all you want to do dynamically from code, right, inside of JavaScript. Or you can interact with them as well directly from visual scripting and create them or instantiate them that way as well. So, and you can kind of interact with all of these, right? It's all interoperable. You can use all of these things together. And I honestly believe the real secret sauce is going to be because visual scripting will give you more access to the Unity API than we'll be able to keep up with when it comes to JavaScript. But JavaScript will give you access to this web stack and the real-time internet and all of that kind of madness too. So bringing those two things together is going to really supercharge what you'll be able to do and how you'll be able to build things here in Banter, right? And we'll have hopefully quite a lot of documentation centered around that as well. But you won't have to rely on that because you can just take to the internet and find all the information you want on Unity's visual scripting system, on JavaScript, how to get generally started with that. And yeah, if anybody is, or if you are familiar with web and building for the web, pretty much any tools or tool chain that you would be used to using will still work with this system, right? If it runs in a modern Chromium browser, it'll run here in Banter too.
All right, cool. Thanks for answering.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you for the question. Okay, I'm actually a couple minutes over, guys. I unfortunately have to jump. It's been great to see you all. We'll be back tomorrow for Tech Waffle, I think is on tomorrow. I need to check that. I will give a shout out to Faye. We've been working hard to try and fill out the event schedule, so I'm sure you'll notice that there's a lot more great events, especially at the weekends. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of Mika, you're going to see a lot of Danny, you're going to see a lot of Gem Chick, you're going to see them combined, separate, all together, all sorts of different combos. And yeah, maybe Faye, I don't know, do you want to... a lot of Divine, of course, a lot of Divine. Yeah, Faye, I don't know, did we put an announcement out earlier about that cool thing we were going to do on Monday, or do you want to tease it now while I do an Irish exit?
Teasing it now. Okay, let's see. I'm not sure if we were going to be ready for it for this Monday, if I remember right. Be watching
It's okay.
the news. Okay.
You don't have to say anything. If you say nothing,
okay,
you're saying more by saying nothing, believe it or not, because that's our new gig, right?
there's things happening. I don't know when.
Things are going on. Yeah. Just keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah.
Oh God.
There's
Monday.
something
That's all
about
I'll
to
say.
happen,
Monday.
but we don't
Monday.
know when.
One day.
But
We do.
more
When is
on
all we
the
know.
events that he was talking about. There's a lot of events. Check out
There
that
is.
calendar. Yes.
Yes. Back-to-back events, right? There really is.
Yep.
So keep an eye
Really
out for
is.
that.
A lot of new fun ones.
Yeah, exactly. Well, look, guys, I'm gonna have to jump. In the meantime, love the books avatar. That's great. It looks huge. I can't believe you managed to squeeze that into to all the size there. I've made it visible for everybody so you can all see it. It's an enormous avatar. That's great. Love it. So all the pictures and the event snaps of everybody in the book space with it. It's great. And yeah. Okay. Anyway, I've got to jump, guys. Honestly, it's been great to see you. I will see you again very soon. In 23 minutes, you've got the Yunjiverse in concert starting, which is awesome. I don't need to tell you how good that is, but please stick around because you will for sure enjoy it. And
Also,
yeah, Bailey.
guys, Fridays at Club Lemur today is being hosted by Rabbit our DJ. So definitely come check out a live DJ. I think it's the first time we've had that happen.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay, folks, I'll give you back the visuals. Oh, I won't because Aline is in my way.